Cannabis enthusiasts, what are you doing this week? Did you know that the Grow Up Conference and Expo is coming to Toronto? It's where you can meet licensed producers, suppliers, equipment manufacturers, growing enthusiasts, and others, which includes the speakers on the main stage as well as in the seminar room. Tommy Chong, he's going to be there. He's going to be speaking on the stage Tuesday at 4:15, so make sure you're there to catch that. Plus, you'll be able to walk around beforehand and catch all the exhibitors on the Grow Up floor. Things get started Monday, May the 27th through the 29th at the Delta Marriott Hotel and Conference Center in Toronto. To learn more, go to growupconference.com/Toronto. If you can't be there, then watch it Tuesday, May the 28th on the 420 Pace, found at 420radio.ca and paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Hello, everyone. We are live here at the 420 Pace on Pace Radio and at 420radio.ca. We are here, as you heard in the promo, as the show was starting. Tommy Chong is coming to the main stage at 4:15, and that's where we are right now. We're just waiting for him to appear, and I can tell you that Sai's just got the chairs all set up for Tommy and his son Paris, and we'll be covering all this as much as soon as my battery dies, you'll know. But I'm sure we should be good, and we're interested to see what this interview. And look at this, see the decorative cannabis plants that they are putting up on stage. So, you know, have the proper setting right now.
Can you move over?
Can I move over? One chair.
Okay, that'll help.
All right.
And then, oh, you see, he keeps moving it.
Sorry, you're messing things up. Thank you. Sure. I'm switching. How's this, Al? I'm gonna do this, man. He offered me his chair.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you too. He's like 13 hours north, so he's a little too far. Yeah. All right, Al. I'm going to switch microphones. Okay, so I will not be able to hear you.
And I control the volume here. So go ahead.
Yeah. Because it is loud here. You know, you can reduce and give people a bit of an atmosphere, I guess, eh?
Yep.
Yeah. See, they got 3 plants in total sitting up there. I don't know if they're real. What do you think? Are they real?
I doubt it.
I think it is real.
Okay. All right, let's go. Look. We are live.
Switch your mic, buddy.
On.
Who's going to the party tonight? Do you know you're going to get there? Do you know where it is? Does anybody know where it is? Guess what? I know where it is. So, shuttle buses will be taking you to the top secret party location. They will be leaving here at the front door, 7 o'clock. They start. Shuttles will be running back and forth between the party all night. So really easy on everybody. Nobody has to drive. You can just enjoy. So that is how you're going to get to the party. Usually,
Al?
the hour before the party is inside.
The audio is not very good.
Telling all of you how to get to the party. So how many people here know how they're getting to the party? Can I hear a hell yeah? One more time. Who wants to go to a party? Oh, hell yeah. Who wants to hear Tommy Chong? Who wants to party with Tommy Chong? That's more like it. Okay, I understand the growers' luncheon is full. So if you have not registered, oh, that's too bad. That is a feast for the ears, the mind, the soul, and the stomach. And that's tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to go check backstage and see if Mr. Tommy Chong is ready for all of you. That is a no! But soon, one of the favorite parts of my job is I come to grow up every year, and Randy takes me aside at the beginning of every conference and says, "Si, would you like to day host?" And for me, for grow up, day hosting is where I get up and I do the round of calls in the morning, and I thank the organizers, and I get up here every hour or so and introduce people. And one of my great pleasures is that I get to introduce amazing people like Tommy Chong. So we have 2 minutes, we're almost ready. I got to introduce this Tommy interview in Victoria. And I had so much fun. So I'm going to introduce him right now. Ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages, Mr. Tommy Chong.
Thank you. Please don't get up. No standing ovations. Thank you. It's really my pleasure being here and being able to talk on a microphone and being as stoned as I am. I may not show up, so if I keep talking, then I got my audience here, Ed Rosenthal. Ed! Wake up, man. Come on, wake up. Up here. You're looking over there, Ed. Up here. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for all the free weed that I got from you guys. I will enjoy it. And all the good gummies. I can't smoke anymore. I got something wrong with my ear canal. I thought it was just natural, you know? But apparently it's from smoking. So I have to quit smoking, then I'm going to get whatever it is removed, and then I can go back. But I don't need to smoke because we got these great things called gummies. And I love gummies. Because gummies get you through the day because you can't remember that you took the gummy. And so you're kind of torn between, am I coming down with COVID? Or, wow, that was a crazy thought. What the fuck made me think of that? Because, that's the other thing I've been doing, enjoying my brain. Because when you get old, like I am, the only time you get a chance for people to listen to you is when you got a mic in your hand and they're all stoned and you got nothing else to do but sit there and listen to me. Anyway, this sounds so real, you know? Because back in the day when you did comedy, when I did comedy, you know, people were, you know, leaning in on every word you said. But here we got a whole room full of stoners. And even the people sitting there, some of you are looking at it saying, who is he? What's he talking about? But it's good because it's legal. Now, the other thing is, eventually, Ed, you and I are going to be put out to pasture, not because of what we want to do, but because you guys will be interested in somebody else or something else. But we're remnants of what used to be. And what used to be was these racist laws. Because think about it. anything to do with substance in the human body that is done by people of color or people from a different language can be an excuse to put a tax or to stop them from doing their normal thing. And that's what they did with cannabis. That's what they did with alcohol. It wasn't about the health of anybody. It was about making money, taxing. And now we pass that. You guys won't have to go through what us old guys went through. And the good thing about weed is that no matter what happens to you, it's an adventure. That's the way I look at it. Because the good thing about the weed, where it does affect your memory, in a way, you'll remember the good shit. But forgetting the bad shit is not bad. It's good. And that's where we're at now. And the thing is, I'm looking at you guys now, and I know that most of you, especially the old guys, will be asking their wives or their partners after the talk, what was he talking about? And that's good. It's all good. But again, I want to thank everybody here. Oh, by the way, I want to introduce you to my son, Paris. And Paris is going to now take questions from everybody that wants to know shit that I know and I can tell you. Maybe. So Paris, take it away, son.
You can sit down right there. Hi, everybody. So, here we are. I grew up again.
Grow up in Toronto.
In Toronto, yeah. So I was trying to think of what I wanted to ask you today, and some of the things that pop up is, can you hear me? Yeah. Is, you know, I don't know if people know this or not, but you and Cheech are back together now, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been back together?
We got back together in 08.
Yeah.
And we've been back together ever since.
And when did you guys break up?
84. Yeah, 1984.
And so,
That was right after, it's when he did Born in East LA. I went to the only Cheech and Chong movie I went to and I wasn't in it.
so you you broke up kind of near the top of your fame with Cheech and Chong, right?
Oh yeah, well, he went and did Nash Bridges. I went and did the 70s show.
Well, you did that later on.
No, right after we broke up.
No, that 70s show, or that.
Oh yeah, later on.
Yeah, later on. Before you did that.
No, I did stand up.
You did stand up. You kind of had to figure out what you wanted to do after Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was incredible. Except I did one thing that I don't think any human on earth was able to do, and I did it.
What's that?
I got my wife to work good for me on stage. I take a bow with that, man. That's unheard of. And it pissed a lot of other comedians off, man. Hey, Tommy Jones, his wife's working, what can I do?
Yeah.
No, Shelby.
Why did you bring her to the show?
Well, a beautiful woman is like a very rare, expensive watch. You don't leave it laying around because someone is going to pick it up and steal it. And so I couldn't leave her at home. I always liked Lucy. She always wanted to be in the show. And oh yeah. I think that's what broke Cheech and I up. Yeah, because you want to piss someone off, put your wife in a movie. Because then we had to put his wife. No, actually I put his wife in first, right? because I was the director. And
That kills the argument right there. Well, I got your wife in first.
that's it.
So, was it? Tell me what like, because when you started doing stand-up again, how did you get into stand-up? Because you didn't do stand-up before. You did more of like a sketch comedy with a partner.
With a partner, no. I snuck in stand-up when Cheech and I were on the road, right, together. I would do a few minutes here and a few minutes there, you know, in between, or introducing bits and stuff.
While he's getting changed.
While he's getting changed, I'd do a little stand-up. And then, you know, for a stoner, you know, it's easier to stop than it is. I mean, it's easier to start talking than it is to stop talking.
Did you feel like you were kind of rebuilding your career, or like what did you think about your career, or do you just kind of go with the flow of things?
It was something that I wanted to do. I really admire stand-up all my life. I started out by listening to Lenny Bruce, and I never in my mind, I was a guitar player, and I never in my mind thought I'd ever be a comedian until I had to be. And the reason I quit playing guitar was that after I got fired from Motown, I went back to Vancouver, and I heard a guitar player from Edmonton called Gator Warren. And he was so good that I quit. I'm not a guitar player. I better be a comedian.
He actually wrote one of your famous tunes.
Yeah, You're in My Eye. Mama talking to me, trying to tell me how to live.
So you gave up guitar there?
But you know the funny thing about that song? He caught me in the bathroom with a pair of pantyhose. Everybody now, they don't know what the fuck pantyhose is. And people go, what's pantyhose? Yeah, no more pantyhose.
So what I want to ask you is, like, did you, because you went from doing kind of big theaters and big events with Cheech, and then all of a sudden you're doing kind of small clubs and having to kind of figure it out again.
Well, the truth is, it's hard doing stand-up. But, and if you don't think so, just try it yourself. Alone, in the mirror, and try to do some bits, you know. Now, if you can entertain yourself in the mirror, then you better get your ass on stage. But half the time, you know, you look in the mirror, you try it, and you say, no. What you can do is say, no, I'm something else. I'm not that. No, stand-up is, there's an art to it.
Yeah, and like a well-known person kind of gave you the idea that you should start doing stand-up, right? A well-known comic told you to start doing stand-up.
Yeah. Which one?
He turned into like a right-wing kind of commentary guy.
Oh, Dennis Miller.
Dennis Miller, yeah.
You guys remember Dennis Miller from Saturday Night Live? Yeah, he had a show in Vancouver. Yeah, you're right. He had a show in Vancouver, a little comedy club. And so I went down to see Dennis Miller. And I knew the owner of the club and everything, so I got in real easy. And then Dennis Miller, I went to his dressing room, and he asked me, he said, do you still get nervous before you can do a show? And I hadn't done a show, and the truth is, I never got nervous with Cheech, you know? And so I said, yeah, I do. You know, just to make him feel good. And then he went on and did his act, and I sat there and I thought, I could do that, you know? And so
And he actually mentioned to you, like, well, why aren't you doing that?
Yeah. He said, he thought I was doing stand-up, right? But that was my thing to go and do it.
And then so, how did you get back together with Cheech and Chong? Or with Cheech?
He asked the question, but he's the one that got us back together again. Cheech and I had a meeting. We were going to, because Cheech was in between gigs, and he didn't know what he was going to do, and so So we had a meeting. We were going to do a movie or something, and the meeting did not go well.
You had an offer for a tour.
Yeah.
There was an offer from Live Nation to do a tour.
That's right. And so Cheech and I had a meeting. It did not go well. So I told him.
What happened?
No, so I told him. I said, "Nice seeing you." Blah blah blah.
No, but what happened at the meeting?
At the meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, when he called me a megalomaniac?
What did you call him?
Beaner? Beaner. You know. No, it was a great reunion. But he hadn't changed, I hadn't changed. And so when I got home, let me tell this one. I got home, I wrote him an email. And my son intercepted the email. Now my email said, "It was nice talking to you. Too bad we can't work together. See you later." And he intercepted it. And he said, "Hey, Cheech, I'm looking forward to working with you. That's going to be great." And then he told me, "Oh, by the way, I intercepted your email, and Cheech is coming up here to rehearse tomorrow." And so
yeah, because the email wasn't. He actually left it open. He said, "Well, do you want to do this tour or not?" So he kind of left it open. You were like, "No, we can't do it." And I'm like, delete all that stuff. And somehow you hadn't sent the email, so I just saw it on your computer. And I said, "Yeah, let's do it."
That's my son. That's what he's been doing. When he was a kid, he used to take my car the same way. You know, I knew he had it, but I wanted him to drive without a license.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's a real.
I did. I wanted him to drive without a license because you're very careful. You don't want to get busted because you don't have a license. So he learns how to drive.
He gave me a truck when I was 15. Like, "Here you go," and I didn't even have a license. And I'm like, "All right, I'll take it."
How about right on?
But as a father now, I'm like, I would never do that.
No, I learned. You know, I grew up in the country, and when you're 8 years old, you can carry some shit. You're a man. You know, that's it. You're a grown up. You can drive a truck. Yeah. You're a man. That's a Canadian way, man.
So you went back on tour with Cheech, and how was that? Did you like it?
Incredible. It was so great. It was so great being back. We were a little slower, you know, but we had fun. And then we had Shelby, because Shelby, when she heard that she's never going to get back together again, I was up on the roof getting a little sun, and she stood over me. She said, "You're not going to break us up. I'm in the show. I don't care what you say. I'm in the show." And I'm laying there looking at her saying, "Yes, dear." And she was in the show.
And Cheech was cool. He was okay with that.
Killed, man. So good. We got reviews that they like Shelby's show better than Cheech and Chong's show. Because she did real stand-up. We would do Cheech and Chong. Yeah.
And then so you're not working with Cheech right now? What do you do with Cheech?
No, Cheech's knees gave out on him. Remember, we were doing a concert one time, and his knee gave out. He walked through some speakers, and so a guy's saxophone flute was hanging there. He trampled that.
You told him not to do that, right?
No, and I told Cheech that, you know. And then he didn't want to ride a wheelchair. And we were on tour, and you want a wheelchair because you get to the front of the line, you know. But his ego was like, you know, I don't need a wheelchair. You need a wheelchair. So we got on there. No, it was great. Except the first gig we did was in La Jolla, and Shelby and I, when she joined the group, she was the brains behind the operation. Because when I was out there alone, I would, after the show, I would sell the club's t-shirts. And so when she joined the group, she saw me selling the club's t-shirt. "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm selling the club's t-shirts." She said, "Well, we need our own. We got to sell our own." So she started the merch business. And we made more money selling merch than we would doing the comedy. And so it got to the point where people were bringing me bongs to sign. And it would be chunk bongs. And Shelby said, well, where'd you get that? And I said, he made it. Well, we got to get our own bomb company. And Shelby said, that'll be a perfect job for Paris.
Yeah.
And so Paris started the bomb company.
And then what happened after that?
I got busted. For bombs.
He's a really good dad. He went to jail for me and my mom. So he's a stand-up guy.
I could just see visiting my wife in jail. How they treat you, huh? for my shit? No, it wasn't going to happen. And I didn't want you to go to jail. Although you would have enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, man. I had the best time. Yeah, we had a running track, we had all the sports. I wrote a book. I had a private cook. We had our own dining room. We cooked our own food. We had a garden growing. We had an Indian sweat lodge. So every Saturday
It
we
makes it sound really nice.
sweat.
Like, that's cool. What's interesting is when you in a federal prison, it's full of like a lot of people that were committed fraud, different CEOs and medical doctors and very intelligent people, and hardworking people, and they just got off track and committed some crimes. And what you notice when you get to prison, like those type of guys would have been dead had they not gone to prison because they were working so hard and hustling so hard. And you see it when they're in prison, they're tan, they're playing more tennis than they've ever played in their life. They're looking so healthy, and their families are just like struggling. It's pretty brutal.
Oh yeah, the women had to go through this gauntlet to visit us. And they weren't allowed to wear certain clothes, didn't wear that. And then I found out in prison, everybody that went to prison grew a beard. And I couldn't figure out why, until they found one guy, he escaped. And the way he escaped was that he went in the bathroom, shaved his beard off, got these women's clothes that his wife brought to him, and walked out with the rest of the visitors. And no one even questioned him. And then when they went in the bathroom, they found all this hair and the men's clothing and that. And so that's why they put a clothing restriction on all the ladies. But the guys, and it was like celebrity night for me. I'd go take pictures with all the visitors and meet them and meet and greet.
Yeah, you met Jordan Belfort in prison.
He was my cellie.
Yeah. And you kind of gave him some advice.
Yeah, well, I was writing my book, and he was playing tennis. And then he'd come in from tennis, and I'd be writing, and he'd say, what are you doing? I said, I'm writing my book. And so he said, I'm going to write a book. And so he's a genius, without doubt. He's got a photographic memory and everything. So he wrote a couple of pages, real fast, boom, 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 and he hands it to me. And I read it, and it was the first page of Bonfires of the Vanities, verbatim. Verbatim. And he said, what do you think? And I told him the truth. I said, you haven't written shit, man. And he got all hurt. Excited, when you insult geniuses, they don't take it well. And he looked at me and said, what do you mean? I said, you just wrote copies of Bonfires of the Vanities. And so he said, well, what should I write? I said, write the stories you've been telling me every night. Those crazy stories. And then I said, there's a most of rule. And he wanted to know what that was. What's the most of? I said, when you get high, when you're writing it down, you get higher because it's your imagination. You can get high as you want. You can do whatever you want. It's on paper. You can write it down. And so make it bigger. And he did that. And so when I got out of jail first, and then he got out after me, and we were both on probation, so we couldn't meet each other and talk. So he drove up in his car to my house, and beeped the horn. I opened the window, and he goes, I wrote a book. Martin Scorsese's going to make it into a movie. Wolf of Wall Street.
There were some amazing stories. I remember he would come and tell us some of those stories, and they were just crazy.
And the movie and the book showed up just a small percentage of the stories he told me.
He told us a story about taking the yacht in the storm, right? the yacht in the Mediterranean in the storm.
Oh yeah, the yacht's going under, and the yacht was so big it had another yacht on top of it. It was a yacht with another yacht and a bunch of ski dunes, ski things, and all this shit. And they're in the worst storm in history in the Mediterranean, and they're being rescued by the helicopter. And so Jordan's halfway up the rope, and he goes, "Oh, just a minute!" And he had to go back down, and he told his buddy, his worker, "Go get the Quaaludes." He had a jar of Quaaludes hidden in the thing. And the guy, forget the yacht, forget all the belly
You're
balls.
about to die. Get the Quaaludes. Get the Quaaludes.
And by the way, let me tell you this story. When they flew over there, with the entourage and everything, one of the wives, because he's a Quaalude freak, one of the wives wanted to get something out of the luggage. And so she went back to the luggage department and found out they forgot to load the luggage. And so when they landed in London, they had to go to the store and buy all this clothes, which they did. And then they flew to Rome, and they got on the boat in Rome. No, actually, they flew right to Rome, and then they had to buy clothes in Rome. And so they got on the boat sank. And so they had no clothes again. And so now they got rescued and taken to Sardinia, and then they had to buy clothes there. And then they got taken, then the plane took them to, or the other plane, the carrier took them to London, and they couldn't get a hotel room because there was a big concert going on at the time. And so Jordan guy made a few phone calls, and they got a suite in the big hotel that was overlooking the concert. Wow. And so when they opened the curtains, they're in this $10,000 a night suite with a concert right in front of him.
And then he's in jail telling this story, so we know how that worked out.
Yeah.
But when you were in prison, you had to learn some things in prison.
In prison?
Yeah, one of the things you had to learn, like Tommy likes to make fun of people. He likes to heckle people. And he
I'm a comedian. That's their job. And so they had a inmate baseball tournament going on. And so I was up there and I started heckling them. And, "Hey, you pussy." And apparently you're not supposed to call another convict a pussy. That's fighting words. Yeah. But it fucked up their game anyway. But it was a low thing, maintenance. Low security. They had one fight on the baseball field. There was two old guys wrestling. It looked like Ed Rosenthal and his old buddy trying to put an arm lock on each other. In fact, it was so not a fight that no one broke it up. Everybody just let them do it. They quit.
So that was prison. We talked about Cheech. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, when I was in prison, I could see, you could see all around us, and there was a little road. It looked so interesting. Because when I was a kid, growing up in Calgary, we lived near the foothills on the prairie, and I would look and I'd see these little areas in the foothills, little groves of trees. And I was a kid, and we liked to climb trees. But when you live in the prairie, you have to go miles to find a fucking tree. And so I see a little grove of trees there. And so I would hike over there by myself a lot of times. And then I'd make a little fire just because I could. And then climb trees by myself. And so when I was in prison, I saw a little grove of trees like that. And so when I got out, I told the driver, Josh, to drive me by the grove. And when I drove over, there was a beautiful little grove of trees. And they had a herd of goats in there. And one of the goats, little baby goat, was stuck in a fence with his horns. And I don't know how long it had been there. But I just got released from prison. And here I am, freeing the little goat. It was so symbolic. And I think we got it on the documentary by AKA Tommy Chong. But I freed that goat. It was such a good feeling. And when Shelby comes to pick me up, she has to what I wanted, and I wanted a Starbucks so bad.
Yeah.
So she showed up with a Starbucks. it was getting out of prison. It was like it was very special.
Yeah.
Very special.
That reminds me of the story that you told me that when you were a kid, you used to go play around in those woods, right, with your brother sometimes. And you told me a story about there was a rope involved in a river.
Oh, well, in Calgary there's a Rat Creek, right? And sometimes it's mellow and other times it's rushing. And we got the time when it was rushing. But we were exploring, we wanted to cross the creek. And so my brother, he stripped down to his shorts and he's going to wade across or swim across. And so just to make sure we had him tied to a rope. Yeah. And only trouble is, when he got in the past the water just took him. Boom. And I should have grabbed the rope right away, but I let the rope go out. It took a while. And I was holding on to the end. And finally, the rope stopped and they got him in there.
Did you do that?
I thought that was funny. He never.
Yeah. And then you guys had to make a fire and warm up.
Oh yeah, there was. He was freezing, so right away I started building a little lean-to. And then by the time I had it built, he was dressed and ready to go.
So recently you were in Austin for the premiere of a documentary about Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, we got a new doc called Cheech and Chong's Last Movie. It's a real Cheech and Chong as we are today. It was shot in L.A. in the desert, and it's a real movie. I saw it. It's really good.
But I don't understand. What do you mean, like, as of today?
As we are today.
Well, it's a documentary about your career, right?
Yeah, it's just part of our career.
Right.
Very part. It's about my Motown life when I was with Motown.
Right.
It's about Cheech and I.
And it's about your breakup too. It's about
It's a lot about the breakup and I had my first wife, Maxine, is in the movie, and my now wife Shelby is also in the movie.
So you got to see Cheech tell his side of the story.
That lying motherfucker. Well, Cheech is a writer, and so no one knows, and so he just wrote.
Well, I actually saw the movie before you did, and I was worried how you were going to take it. But we just kind of rolled the dice, and you saw it at the premiere.
I loved it. It's a movie. And what I mean by a movie, you see, I could do a movie, but there'd be a lot of funny bits and so on. But a real movie, I'm talking about where they take you emotionally into like a love story, like boy meets girl, fucks over the guy, and they get back together. That kind
So
of movie.
who's the girl and who's the guy in that relationship?
Well, it was my wife, my first wife is in there, and I do it, a little, what do you call it, talking off mic where I said, after a while when I became a comedian, my first wife told me to, get out, to leave and go with your girlfriend, and I thought that she was all right with that. And in the movie, my first wife goes, "I was not." she jumped out. Those moments. And that's what I mean about a real movie. There's something more to laugh at. There's something to think about, and visit people. And it takes a real editor, a real movie maker to know how to do that.
So, did you? What kind of emotions were you going through when you heard Cheech's side of the story of the breakup?
Well, in the movie, there's no lies. It's the truth. And the thing is, we argued about the guy that really saved us. Because Up in Smoke, we got robbed. Even though it was a hit movie and everything else, we never covered ourselves. We never had our own lawyer. We never had our own deal. And the only way we made money was that one of the accountants that also got fired, he sued me. And so we went into discovery. And when we went into discovery, we found out how badly we got robbed. And because we weren't represented by a lawyer, the firm that represented Lou Adler, they got sued. They came up with a settlement because they were the guys that were suing me. And so when they found out this hanky-panky, had I taken it to court, I would have destroyed Lou, and I would have had.
What was Cheech's reason for him wanting to break up?
He didn't. Oh, it was a movie called The Cisco Kid.
No. What was the reason he gave in the movie that he wanted to break up with you?
Help me.
Well, what was he going through? What was he feeling as he was doing the movies with you?
Oh, you mean with his divorce?
No, with you. With you.
I'm the director.
I think was that it?
Oh yeah. Once you become a movie director, you become God. You are. I mean, no doubt about it. Doesn't matter who it is. You have the final say. Right. And he did not like that. I gave him, he wanted to be more involved. I wrote all the movies. He would go on vacation. I'd write the movie. And then he'd come back, and then he would do his part, I'd write areas where he would do his part, But the whole scenario that was me. And so he did not like that. And he wanted to get away from that character that he was playing, because it was kind of like Jimmy Kimball's Guillermo, right?
And you didn't want to get away from your character?
Well, fuck no, man. When I found out you get a character, own it, love it, keep it, baby it, love it. It's going to keep you. Because now you look at actors, that's a tough life. They get a lot of money there, like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and all that.
That's tough life.
But the shit they have to go through, on screen, they would never do that in real life. But now on screen, you're getting tortured. You're getting.
Isn't that the stunt man that does that, though?
Who?
Isn't that the stunt guy that does
No. Yeah, it's not it, but you're made up in your mind. You memorized all the shit that someone else wrote. You don't even have a personality, And so when I found that my character is what the people want to see, yeah.
How close
I could be more Trump.
How close is your movie character to your real life?
Oh, my movie character is way more exciting. Oh, that guy is crazy.
I feel like you kind of merged into one character.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully, man. Well, the thing is, when I was in prison, I made a vow that I was not going to smoke weed at all. Because I wanted to show the people that marijuana is not addictive.
And you didn't want to extend your prison time.
And I didn't want to have them saying, oh, see, he's a stoner, he deserves to be in prison. It was the opposite. I wanted to be this angel. And I did. I was sickly. Man, when they give me a job sweeping, I would sweep until they said, okay, that's enough. Forget it. You don't have to. Because most convicts, they don't do their job. They do whatever,
you're not supposed to really do the work.
Yeah, but me, I got into whatever I was doing.
You took pride in what you did, huh?
It was like a movie. Yeah. I was in there, And even though we had a private dining room in that, I told the guys I got to eat at the mess hall because I wanted to have that experience. And I did. I had one experience. And the funniest thing, I did a movie called David Chappelle. What's it called? Half Baked. Half Baked. And in Half Baked, I'm a prisoner, and I got a pet. Well, when I went to prison, guess what? They had ground squirrels that the prisoners would feed. And they would come up to you, and they would become pets. And this one ground squirrel, he got fatter and fatter and fatter. And then we got the ground squirrels, and then up on the legging boots, we got hawks that eat the ground squirrels. And they're up there watching the auction. Let's feed up the ground squirrels. And this one ground squirrel got so fat he couldn't get back in his hole. And so, boom, the fox the Hawks when they swooped and got him.
Yeah.
And the bikers used to be the guys that were working on the lights and that, they're electronics. And so there's one biker was up there and he said he found the ground squirrel up there. We had a name for it, I forget what it was. Fat cat or something like that. And there was one guy we were sitting, he wasn't a biker, but he was an old guy. And he said, ain't no way that squirrel crawled out that pipe. And he was serious.
Oh man. So you're not smoking because you got an ear problem right now. The doctor said, but you're eating edibles, and you've had a lot of experience with edibles.
Yeah.
And you still kind of make mistakes all the time with edibles.
In fact, it's a year ago, my birthday, last year, someone gave me some candied popcorn, infused, 100 milligrams. I ate the whole fucking bag.
And I told you to be careful with that.
And Shelby was so pissed at me because I'm dressed and I can't get out of the cup.
She had a whole birthday party waiting for him. All their friends waiting for at a restaurant, and he's I can't go. Now before that,
And then Paris come over. Paris got worried because how stoned is he? Paris come over and you walked me to bed.
Yeah, I had to pick him up,
Let me in the
give
bed.
him some water.
He's like, water, water. Oh.
And then, but before that, you were gifted Rick Simpson oil in a syringe, and he had a big syringe of Rick Simpson oil, and it was just kind of sitting in the fridge, and it was kind of leaking out. And he had the bright idea. He didn't realize. He just kind of, ran his finger across the whole thing. Took a big,
It's called the dollop.
A dollop, and just ate it all.
And that's one thing about podcasts too, when you're dealing with the sticky hash and that.
Yeah.
What's
clean?
the natural thing is to clean and then you're fucked up for a while.
And then what happened on that time? You went downstairs, right?
No, I was in the basement.
Yeah.
I was in my basement trying to get out of a chair. I'm sitting there. I'm sitting down. I know, okay. Well, you can get up. I'm sitting down. I can't move. I couldn't move. I could hear people walking. I couldn't move. But when you're that high, the only thing you can do is enjoy it.
Yeah. That was 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, 72 hours.
We're supposed to do a movie.
48 hours.
Remember Cheech come over with Joey?
Yeah.
They looked at me like I was in the coffin. And I see these faces come over me and go, you okay? And I'm like, do I look okay? So I was fucked up. Cheech did it too. Did I tell you? Let's talk about Cheech.
Yeah. I thought
Cheech had a little break gun, and he's going out, and he had a habit.
He thought that one syringe was one dose.
Yeah.
And he
Squirted
squirted
the whole nose. And he gets in the car, halfway to wherever they're going, he started fucking vomiting. And they had a driver, I think. And he was like barfing. Everywhere goes scream. And his Russian wife followed.
And he was worried because he didn't want to get taken to the hospital because he was worried that, what are they going to think with Cheech? Oh, he overdosed on Rick Simpson oil. Like, I can't just take you to a private doctor.
Project Family.
And then there's one other story is it was your 70th birthday.
Oh,
80th or 70th?
70th.
70th.
Was it good when I was on the 70 show?
And I asked my mom, we're going to do something special. And I was like, well, why don't we get, medicated desserts for the party? And so it was like, yeah, that's a great idea. So we get it, but my mom, she is notorious for not buying enough food. So
Even though she's Jewish,
yeah,
she did not buy enough food.
It's like she doesn't eat very much, so she doesn't believe anyone else should eat very much. So they throw the party, and way more people come than we expected, and there's not enough food, so everybody's hungry. And so
we told people.
So the desserts come out, and And I tell all my mom's friends, I say, listen, these are Medicaid, be careful. And they were like already drunk, and they're like, oh, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about, we've been around, and they just gobbled all the desserts up. And then they went back for more, and they came out, and they gobbled the second one up. And then it got really weird. Really weird.
Yeah. One lady phoned her husband, who was a doctor.
She was vomiting.
She's vomiting. And I told her, so I got on the phone with her. I tried to calm her down. I put on some jazz. mellow.
Yeah, no, he's next to her. He's doing like talking someone down from a bad accident. He's like, you're beautiful. You're amazing. You're mellow. And I'm like, oh my god. And I'm hiding in my room right now because I feel responsible for all these people.
And then Shelby went and my mom disappeared.
My mom comes in and she's laughing. She's laughing hysterically because all her friends are like passed out on all the couches. They can't move. And then she's like, no one can, I'm going to sleep over. No one can handle this. No.
And then Sharon, her daughter was being babysat down by the kids.
Yeah.
And so Sharon went down to get her daughter.
No. She couldn't go pick up her daughter who was down the street.
With the housekeeper.
And so she had like Tommy's help go pick her up. And they're carrying the girl's mom out like by her hands and her feet to the car, and this poor little girl's dad had died like 6 years before, and she's going, oh, Mom, don't die, Mom, and the mom kind of goes, oh, shut up, I'm fine. And then gets carried to the car and driven home by the help. And then the next day, we get these calls from everybody. What happened? I woke up and my car's in the bushes. And I'm on the bathroom floor. What the hell happened last night?
It was a famous. Yeah. That's Paul Reiser, the comedian. He's sitting. He's got two women on his knee, his wife and her girlfriend.
Yeah, got wild.
And they're talking threesome. They're all agreeing. Yeah.
So what's your favorite dose now? Do you know about dosages when it comes to edibles?
Strips. Those little strips.
Well, what number? What's the number? What's the magic number for you?
I don't know. What do you mean?
How many milligrams?
Take it, see what happens. The famous last words. I don't feel anything. That's what Cheech did too. We went to a Joni Mitchell concert in Paris, and Cheech had no way to smoke his hash, so he ate it. And he got so zonked out. He got so stoned. We went to a diner after to eat. He forgot to order. And Cheech loves food. He said he was so stoned, and poor Joni couldn't figure out what was wrong with Cheech. He couldn't talk, he couldn't do anything. He just sat there and stoned. And Joni cracked me up too because she's on stage and she had to excuse herself because she had a frog in her throat. And we're in Paris, and for some reason there was mention of frog in Paris. Put me on the floor. In her throat, deep in her throat. That frog was deep in her throat, right?
And no one else got it, right?
No. The beauty and the love of marijuana.
All right, well that's it, man.
Is it?
Yeah, that's it. Unless you want to keep talking. They'll keep talking for hours and hours and hours.
No, I'm ready to go pee.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
The old man, it's
All right, I'm back, Al. All righty, there's Tommy Chong and Paris having their conversation on the stage. I'm just gonna move the tripod out here. I move it here where it's a little quieter now as things are wrapping up here at the Grow Up Conference and Expo. So lots of stories there, eh? Al? Al? Alrighty. Gonna deal with my tripod. You there, Al? Is that Rosenthal? See how many people are still left here? Oh, I thought I heard you there, Al. Just hang on, I'm gonna unplug and plug back in again on my speaker. My mic, I mean. Okay, try that. Oh, I can't hear you. Well, Al, I don't know, buddy. All right. Well, we're just gonna wrap things up from here from the Grow Up in Toronto. It's going on again tomorrow, 10 till 5. The export floor. Come out here, see the vendors, and talk to the people. I'll tell you, she was pretty crowded and a pretty busy time. But other than that, folks, we'll talk to you soon. This is Al Ram and Al Rap saying goodbye from the Grow Up in Toronto Marriott Hotel. Bye bye, folks.
Hey cannabis enthusiasts, what are you doing this week? Did you know that the Grow Up Conference and Expo is coming to Toronto? It's where you can meet licensed producers, suppliers, equipment manufacturers, growing enthusiasts, and others, which includes the speakers on the main stage as well as in the seminar room. Tommy Chong, he's going to be there. He's going to be speaking on the stage Tuesday at 4:15, so make sure you're there to catch that. Plus, you'll be able to walk around beforehand and catch all the exhibitors on the Grow Up floor. Things get started Monday, May the 27th through the 29th at the Delta Marriott Hotel and Conference Center in Toronto. To learn more, go to growupconference.com/Toronto. If you can't be there, then watch it Tuesday, May the 28th on the 420 Pace, found at 420radio.ca and paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.